who would like to give a recap for the last sesh?
It's been 2 weeks. Hold on. I think we start at the old house, and we were about to get into a fight with the ghosts. We did pretty well, considering everything.
Anissa did very well.
Yeah. But that's details. But we managed to get rid of them, and then we descend into the basement where we find Tasha, but it was actually Mercury and Davina's mother body. And we also find the body of uh, Elliot in the ground. We thought he was dead, but apparently not. So after another fight, uh, we get rid of Mercury, and we discovered that Elliot had make some delivery thing. He delivered a package in the cemetery for a guy named the Moner, and we are meant to go to the cemetery later at night to try to figure out things too. But Umbra also knew this name before us, uh, so everything aligns now. We also find when we go to the temple afterwards to get rid of some nice counter effects of the fights that people are going into some kind of riot protests in the streets about the laws that come into be.
It was about the bombings that was happening.
Yeah, they try to legalize bombs, drop bombs on enemies, and if I'm not mistaken, it's from the Emperor Gideon. And after all these mishaps, we came back to Davina's house to rest. Uh, some of us stay in the family lounge, and some of us went upstairs to deal with some problems and talk with some peoples, and that's pretty much it, I guess.
It is. We will. So Davina wants to speak to her sister, and Cain wants to speak to Prince Kurt. We'll do Kurt first, because then all of you can be downstairs together. So I presume Cain knocks on the door or just tries to open it.
Yeah, he knocks on the door.
No one's in!
Excuse me. It's Cain, one of your bodyguards.
Oh. 1 minute.
May I come in?
1 minute. You hear like the sound of a piece of furniture being pushed. And then the door opens just a little fraction. What did we have for breakfast?
I'm still not sure. Is everything okay? You seem kind of on edge.
Of course I am on edge. People are trying to kill me.
Yeah, of course. Do you mind if I come in?
Okay. Lets the door open and he just kind of walks away back into the bed.
Well, thank you. First of all, I would like to apologize. As part of your bargain, we should not have let you stay alone, even though I'm pretty sure the house is safe. Um, and second, I would like to speak with you about a certain matter that we came across in the streets early today. Uh, we heard some news about the new law that's being pushed through to legalize the bombs. I think it's by Emperor Gideon. Uh, I
Oh,
don't.
it's wonderful, isn't it? We're trying to we're trying to use them against Gideon, the Pretender, and his
Oh,
forces.
and um, do you? It's not on my place to say anything. It's just I'm just a concern, like any citizen. Do you think it's a wise choice to drop bombs on your enemies?
If one has enemies, then one must take every step possible to make sure they do not have those enemies.
Um, still, a life is a life,
Indeed,
and
but conquered is conquered. And if we allow ourselves to be conquered by the Pretender, we will basically not be alive, so...
I'm just thinking that that's probably safer and less aggressive ways to deal with the problem.
What could be safer than dropping something on someone several 100 feet below you?
Well, you have to explain that for the innocents that will probably get on fire.
Look, it's the classic carriage problem. Do you drop bombs on 5 people or on 1 person?
My point is that innocent people will also die in the process. Innocent people that have nothing to do with the dispute between the empire.
If they didn't want to be a part, they shouldn't have joined up for the army. It's clearly not getting to him that, like, you can be a member of the army and also be innocent, or that it, like, non-armed forces may be a casualty.
Well, I appreciate your time, Your Highness. We arrive at the house, so if you feel comfortable to go back to the living room, I assure it's pretty safe.
He just nods. I will meet you there momentarily. Shut the door!
Good. And I shut the door, but out of spite, I don't shut. Just like I leave it open, but like
Yeah, just like a crack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then go back.
Fair. Meanwhile, Davina, your old quarters. Do you knock or just do your thing with doors and burst on through?
I do the thing where it's I don't have prestidigitation, but my mage hand knocks from the inside and then opens the door.
Okay. The door is open. What do you think you are doing? Oh.
Obviously, it's me. Do you think our maid stuff would just come in like that?
Like, no, but I was pretty sure that one of your weirdo friends might.
Okay, first of all, associates, not friends. Second of all, you know what? Maybe one of them would. Some of them are kind of green. Anyways, not why I'm here. They are really, really good at killing people and things, so they might be around for a while. You're just gonna have to live with that. Are you still in bed?
She's
It's
like,
1 p.m.
she's lying on top of the duvet. She was reading. Not that it's any of your business, Mum. God.
What a thing to call me right now. Speaking of Mom,
There's a little bit of an oh shit that goes over her face at that.
just kind of makes a show of looking around the room. You wouldn't happen to know where she is, would you, Hayden?
No. Why are you asking?
Well, here's the thing. I met someone that looked like Mom when I was out around looking for you. Turns out it wasn't her. But, my friends, literal air quotations, but with the mage hand,
Wait, the mage hand is just like hovering
the
beside
mage hand
you,
does the air quotations, yeah.
doing like little sassy hand gestures for you. Okay.
My friend, said that Mom came home with you, but that she wasn't here the day that we landed. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
It like wasn't her mum. It wasn't Mum. Sorry.
Was it?
No, it was like another one of those pretenders, but it was all lame and like weepy all the time. I haven't seen Mum since the day that she left me in that place. Mercury told me that she just like left.
Face kind of changes, gets a little bit more serious, the mage hand goes away.
Okay.
I slowly walk up, and I do that thing that, like, it's kind of a mom thing where you, like, sit on the edge of the bed.
Yeah.
Listen, Hayden. We'll probably never know for sure. But I'm pretty sure that whether it was here or there is no Mom. Not anymore.
Hayden goes like a little quiet. I guess, like, I mean, she left one way or another.
Listen. I put my hand on her shoulder after like a minute of doing that weird like hovering thing of like, do I actually want to do this?
She kind of like looks at you like, what are you doing, you freak?
I don't want you to blame yourself, but on a completely unrelated note, let's not kill Elias. Even if he is extremely lame.
I like totally wasn't planning on it. Why are you talking to me like that? Like, you think I'm some kind of murderer? I'm your little sister. How dare you think that of me?
With all due respect, have you actually not killed anybody?
No! God!
Okay. So, what happened to the weepy, not lame mom on the ship?
She just, like, stepped off. After she called me a monster.
Oh, honey. You're not a monster, you're 15.
Have you ever met a 15-year-old?
15-year-olds are 100% monsters, but also, like... yeah, I hugged my sister.
she is hesitant at first, but then just like buries, you know, her face in the crook of your neck, and you could just hear her like smelling your perfume. She's always liked how you smell. It's a comfort thing for her.
Do that thing where you like run your hands through somebody's hair. And I'll sit there for a long time because I'm waiting for her to cry.
You do eventually hear crying noises. But like they're like really restrained and like you know, very, very hushed. They're like just, she's trying not to let you know she's crying.
I completely pretend that I don't notice.
So lame.
Yeah, I bet that really wasn't the trip that you thought it was gonna be, huh?
No. And now he wants me to, like, spy on you all.
Oh, no, we're not doing that. You know what? I have killed people before, and I'll do it again. So, why don't you tell me this guy's information and where he sleeps? You know that, honey?
No, I don't know where Mercury sleeps.
Oh!
I know that, he did say that to make sure, that, you guys would be told. I would tell him if you guys ever went to a Miesling.
Do you know why? Is he just being rude and nosy?
He thinks that you guys might be sabotaging his plans.
I mean, we might be. I honestly don't know what everybody else in this group is doing. But, I think his immediate presence has been, I won't say taken care of, but we did just wipe the floor with somebody by that name, wearing Mom's face, if you can believe it.
Gross.
I know, it was so rude. Well, listen, if he comes back around, you're not that good of a liar. Just tell him the truth. Tell him whatever you need to, and we'll deal with it after, okay? You'll be a double agent from now on.
Guess sounds fun. Okay. Don't you, like, have somewhere lame to be?
I have so many lame places I could be, but unfortunately I'm in this lame place.
Okay. Well, I'm just, like, reading. You see what... I should kind of put the cover, like, cover side down, when you started walking to the bed, but you see it's, like... It's not like a kid, like a young kid's book, but it's like a book written for like 9 to 13-year-olds that your mother gave you and then you gave her.
I'm gonna reach around my neck and take off my mom's locket that I found at the inn, and I'm gonna wrap it around her neck. Fasten it.
She cradles the pendants in her hands and just flicks it open. Remember,
I minor illusion a picture of both of us in there.
Do you do that over the scratched inscription over where your photo used to be? Because there was your photo on one side and her on the other.
I do over on my side.
Okay. I didn't know she got it updated. That's nice. Hayden kind of just sinks into a little bit of a ball down on the bed, like a little bit of like emotional, tired nap kind of pose.
I do that thing where I'm like acting like I'm gonna put the blankets over her all nice, and then I pull them all the way over her head and try to make her laugh.
She gives a little snort and calls you lame.
Listen, I'm gonna try to stick around home for a while because we both know Elias is useless. But I am gonna have to tell him, and he'll probably show up, and he'll probably be extremely lame.
Okay. Thanks,
Just,
sis.
if anything happens, just come talk to me. Just grab me.
Okay. She just nods and just says okay very sleepily.
We're getting you a private tutor. That school year sucks.
Okay. What about that guy in the hazmat suit? He was nice.
Can I infer who she's referring to?
Brooke.
Oh.
Yeah, he's dead.
Is he?
He's off screen now. He's dead.
Ah,
before us.
Yep, fair. I don't think Davina is. Hayden has actually been downstairs and seen who's arrived and who's left.
Yeah, maybe he'll drop back in again someday. Busy guy, that one. I'll kind of just hover until she's, like, asleep.
It doesn't take long.
And then I'll walk out.
Just close the door quietly.
Yep. Kind of just stare into space for like a little too long, and then I'm gonna head downstairs.
Alright. But having beaten you to it is Kurt. He just like nervously creaks open the door to the lounge. Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, is this seat for me?
Anissa would have got up, just given the seat up.
Oh, thank you very much. How did it all go?
Well, all things considered, it went rather smoothly. However, we did have to put our lives down on the line, which put us quite in a greater deal of threat and persecution than we would have thought at first. Myself included. Had to deal with the supernatural and those that had not quite passed on to the other side.
Ah! Undead?
Not of the corporeal kind, but yes, quite indeed.
That is awful.
Oh, quite awful indeed. We were shivering in our boots. I saw little Umbra over there. He was quite afeard. Ran straight for the church as soon as we came back into town.
It's just a shot of a dirty look from beneath the mask. The
Can't see,
undead
don't care.
did something. I could feel it in my joints.
I'm sure you could. That's very scary.
Sorry, I hit a chord there, so I actually went quiet for like a few seconds there. What was said?
Oh, Umbra shoots you a dirty look and then said that he could feel it in his joints, that the undead did something to him.
And Kurt agreed and was just like, "That's scary."
Quite indeed. But, needless to say, we came out quite victorious, learning the knowledge that we do have now in regards to everything that is going on in the strings of this plot. So I just want to make sure to let you know that we are indeed putting our life and our livelihood on the line just for you, Mr. Kurt.
Oh, I very much appreciate that. Thank you. I will make sure to contact my family and replenish my coffers, and I will give you some hazard pay for what you have done, of course. Now, what have you learned?
I would think perhaps it's best for you not to know the details. You know, it could get even more dangerous if you do so, and that's the last thing we want you.
It's less that we're hiding things from you, and it's more that ignorance is more of a safety net for certain things in your line. However, if your retainer over here, gestures over to Anissa, believes that certain pieces of information must be divulged for your knowledge, then of course, who are we to deny that?
Kurt looks over to Anissa.
Probably giving the same dirty look that Umbra's giving, but isn't wearing her helmet, so it is obvious.
Gives a grin, his like silver tooth glinting.
I'm impartial. If you wish to know, you will be told. It's as simple as, I'm in the same boat as the rest of these individuals. So.
Well, as long as the threat is dealt with.
Most likely not.
Unfortunately, the main threat we seem to be finding is not dealt with, sadly. However, we are currently on the trail to lead us towards said threat. And we are gaining more information, which is allowing us to be able to handle it with the utmost proficiency.
Wonderful. So, next steps.
Let me know at what point I walk in, then.
Oh, you can walk in now if you like.
Okay. Well, apparently my sister's now a double agent. I'm deeply traumatized. Walk. Goes to the bar cart, pours myself a very expensive scotch, stares at it, drinks the whole thing.
Your sister needs to make contact with my contact. She'll be safer that way.
What contact is this? Oh, thank you.
The first one that she had. The one that probably allowed the others access to her. I doubt he will allow that to happen again.
And how sure are you of this?
There's a chance that things could go wrong. I would estimate a 90% probability of her safety. Or she could maintain distance and I can act as liaison. However, at that point, either way, she is already too far into this plot to get out of it.
Oh, no, I don't think it's a good idea for her to try to extricate herself in any way, but I think some distance would be good. She is 15 years old, and she is not dealing with this well. Well, it could be worse. Could be worse, actually, considering her power.
When you play with things you don't understand, you tend to get burned.
or stabbed, or frozen, or killed,
Or cloned.
or cloned. That is quite true. We have been seeing quite a bit of evidence towards this whole cloning business, after all.
I mean, maybe it's just because my sister is a wizard, but those aren't true clones.
Oh, I'm a wizard as well, and I can tell you with my years and decades of studying and knowledge that although these aren't one-to-one proper clones as per the normal spells, they are indeed taken at least some kind of inspiration forthwise, molden almost with an artisan's hands to create a one-to-one physical representation.
So in short, they are dangerous.
Indeed.
Oh,
Sometimes,
indeed, yes, absolutely.
and we might
Your
not even be
Highness.
able to trust one another.
Oh no.
Well, let's
Oh,
not
I'm just
see the
fooling you.
course.
Don't
Yeah,
worry
so
about
let's
that.
not steer the conversation in that direction in front of this one. He's a little flighty for a prince. No offense. Your
High
Highness.
strung would be downplaying it.
Your Highness.
We just don't want to
I
add
do
to your
have a
stress.
question.
Yes, Umbra.
If I was to say my contacts have given me some information that the Astarians may be involved in this plot, what would that entail in larger consequences? As well as how do you truly kill one of them?
I don't know how one would kill them. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Yastari were involved. Typical. They'd want to fracture up the opposition so their patriarch could stay on the throne.
There is a chance that they could be connected to this Mercury that we are after.
Maybe that's how they keep coming back. It can't be clones because they all have different bodies.
Indeed, that means your sister is mixed up with them, which means it's time to topple a family.
My sister?
No, Davina's sister.
Oh, thank goodness.
How is that better news? Sorry. My sister is involved in a lot of things she shouldn't be involved in. Let's get that out right there.
Well, to be fair, she's a teenager, and I
Yeah,
think it's only
she's-
natural.
Oh, I've seen younger working in the mining factories here.
Okay, no one in my family is gonna touch a mine. Ew.
Yeah. What's wrong with a mine exactly?
Does this
No.
look like a complexion meant for coal? I don't think so.
I think you forget, Your Highness. The Hepburns are very vain people. They wouldn't be seen around such noble work as coal mining.
That's all he says to that is just sticks his little nose up at you. He has to reach
More
quite far
work
up
for
though.
you. Fair. If you'd like the pickaxe, I can have someone fetch one.
We haven't even used the shovel that she bought so far.
Oh yeah.
So that can come in hand later.
I'm sure we'll have to bury something or dig something eventually. Not me, of course, but
It would just feel like home to be able to dig something.
do you want to go dig something?
Outside? No! Are you crazy?
Okay, first of all, I don't appreciate my sanity being brought into this.
I didn't mean crazy, just... He kind of tails off because he has nowhere else to go with that.
The gardens are perfectly safe.
Well, I believe it is best to have an operational safe house. The mansion is the best location. We will have to ensure that your servants stay within the mansion, and they only leave in pairs and return in pairs. We will set up code phrases and keep the doors locked. This is to ensure that nobody gets replaced on us.
Alright, clearly Umbra has this, so, just let me, yeah, absolutely. Next time you see the housekeeper, I'll let her know that these are my orders, as good as.
That way
no,
there,
I
we
think
know we
I'll
have a
take
safe
the house.
place. At this point, none of us will leave on our own, either. Myself included, as much as that pains me to say it.
Oh, I really badly need to see my brother. I suppose I could summon him. He'd hate that.
How many members do you have?
Oh, do you mean like my family tree? There's a copy somewhere in the library that I could roll out.
I mean, I didn't know you had a brother.
Oh, yeah, I mean technically with Mom gone, he owns this house now, so. Elias, he's trained to be a knight. Rolls eyes.
I'm aware of it.
There's already a possibility he is compromised. We must go forward with that in mind.
He was so annoying when we saw him last, it was for sure him.
Just as a DM's notes, squires to knights cannot inherit property. Once they become a knight, they may inherit property, but while they are in the service to someone else, they are unable to.
Oh, so this is my house right now.
It would go...
I'm holding it in escrow.
Yeah, because he's older than you, right?
He is older than me, yeah.
Yeah, so it would... the will would probably deed it to him, but yeah, it would be...
I would be holding it in escrow right now.
Yeah. You probably helped your mum, like, write up the will, and may have written in a couple of loopholes, or other ways in which you could...
If for some reason he can't inherit it, I get to hold on to it until the rightful heir gets it.
By legality, if you are incapable of inheriting something, it would then move on to the next in line of inheritance.
But since he's not permanently unable, I don't know if I'll be able to keep it permanently, but
You could make an argument.
It would be until he does become a knight, then it would become his rightful property. But in the meantime, he can't own anything, property-wise.
You can sell it.
You technically can sell it.
This is prime real estate.
I don't think that would be possible. That's a whole legality thing that would probably have to.
Yeah, that's why I say in escrow, because it's like I'm holding it for him almost. I'm supposed to take care of it.
Just put your eldest sibling into squirehood. Make sure they never become a knight.
Himself.
Yeah, now we just need to sabotage him and make sure he never becomes a knight.
Oh my god.
This is not the side quest I had prepared for, but I am up for it.
What the time of the day is right now?
It's about 2.
Okay.
Well, if we are okay with me taking over operational control, I will write up some rules that those within the house will follow to ensure our safety to the best of the ability, that we are not infiltrated.
Sounds good to me.
Probably a good time to also address those security flaws you noted when you first visited. It's probably a good time to have those looked at.
I will attempt to break in multiple ways. Anything that I can see to enter the building on any floor will be dealt with. I take it the windows you don't want shattered.
Why would you... Do you have any idea how old this glass is? It's original to the house.
Are you
Just to
against
say,
it?
please don't shatter the glass.
And how against are you of boarding them up?
Can we do it in such a way that you can't tell they're board? Like, just put, like, nails in the frame, maybe? Ooh, maybe that would damage it.
It
So,
is
the
mahogany!
idea
Still
is to be-
simply jump through the glass.
Yeah, the idea is to be as secure as possible without making it ugly or damaging it.
There is two sides of this. This isn't some kind of thing where I can magically do everything.
Okay.
We are either safe or we are pretty.
This is like an
Pretty
impossible choice.
Pretty damn.
Honestly,
You can't write this kind of moral dilemma.
The property value. The HOA is gonna be on.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, you know, I do not sign off on making any permanent changes.
Very well. We will have guards posted in here then.
Okay, great.
And by that, I mean, I hope you all enjoy a sleepover, because a few of us are going to have to sleep in this lounge every night. Else, risk somebody entering through the windows.
There are a lot of windows in this room.
We're like surrounded by windows.
You know, this was almost a sunroom. The original builder wanted it to be all windows, but apparently it couldn't support the second story fully, so it would have had to pop out, and that was really out of style at the time.
It also points east, and your family have never traditionally been early risers.
Yeah, so like it would have been like just for the servants, and he wants to give the servants a view.
Other than that, I can attempt to find potential footholds and shave them down, so they are no longer footholds to climb to the second story, as well as any vines or any vegetation, and cut that down. It will not fully damage things, however, it will make it harder to scale to the second floor where we will house the prince.
Yeah, vegetation is fine. We can always hire a druid to make it pretty again once this is over.
In that case, 2 in the lounge should suffice for early detection. Should be those who are quick and who can get us if needed.
Considering the security risk my sister poses, I'll be sleeping with her for the foreseeable future.
Indeed, I suspected that you would be upstairs, as well as Anissa. For sure, that leaves the 3 of us down here. I am quite quick on my feet, and I do not mind sleeping on a couch. It is better than some sleeping arrangements I have had. Any other volunteers?
I also, well, I don't need to sleep, so I can help with that. I'm not sure about
Perfect.
how agile I am, but I can certainly try.
No, this is good. You can hold any intruders off, while I slip away and alert the others so that we may come down and attack. You have abilities to keep people in one place, correct?
Indeed.
Perfect. Then perhaps I will take this chair and I can quickly slip out, and we'll keep some kind of crowbar or something by the door so I can slide it through and have them be trapped in here with you until I can get the others.
Understood.
The others will sleep upstairs with the prince, close by to ensure that if anybody is able to get to the second floor, they are able to defend the prince. Anybody leaving will have to... We will leave in pairs, as I said. This will ensure that we are not alone, and if one of us disappears, we consider them compromised, unless otherwise noted.
And what about the secret passport that you spoke about?
It'll be a simple phrase or words. We'll change it daily at first to ensure security, potentially shifting to weekly.
Let's start with, I don't know, luminary today.
Perfect. This gives us at least some security. While it will not be perfect in a case of an actual assault on the place, it'll help us against infiltrators or assassins. Given that my line of work does, from time to time, have me assassinating people, I will ensure that the best routes, and even the more difficult ones, are nullified to the best of my ability. Then tonight we will head to the graveyard after we go pick up the mask of the Watcher, so that I may impersonate him.
Okay. Wait, hold on. I have a mask, but I think it's... Oh, it's Mercury's mask.
My contact is preparing the mask. Cleaning it, I hope. That severed head was in there for a couple days.
Well, let me know when you guys are ready to head out.
If anybody wishes to help me, I am sure we can find plenty of things to defend and improve in the place.
I guess so. I can spare the time to help you.
Unfortunately, I'm not too good at setting up perimeters of safety. That's not my forte.
Mine neither. I typically infiltrate them. But my skill set will let me know what to look for. With that, Umbra will finally hop off the chair after lounging for however long and begin to stretch.
It's probably been about an hour and a half at least, if you're just chilling on it.
Yeah. Worry not, Davina. I may shave down some stones, but would you prefer me to leave them alone and give footsteps upstairs to potentially abduct your sister or kill the prince?
Couldn't you just, I don't know, oil slick them so that anybody trying to find purchase would just slide off instead of
And if
damaging
they are a
stone?
competent assassin who has the capability of carrying some powder to dry it, I typically will bring some chalk to be able to any wet surfaces, or if I need better grip, dust my gloves with it.
Fine, fine. Just don't tell Elias I let you damage the property.
I will attempt to keep it as unnoticeable as possible.
I
It'll
guess
be
put
as
another
if it's
way.
natural wear.
Yeah, if I put another way, if you tell anyone I let you damage the property, I will deny it.
Very well.
Is there anything I can? I mean, I'll pour you some scotch when you're done. That's what I'll do.
Well, we only have a few hours to get this started. The daylight is waning. Let us begin. And then with that, Umbra's going to start walking out to begin
Isn't it 2 o'clock? Isn't the sun technically at height?
I mean, depends on what time of year it is.
It is spring. Like
Okay.
Yeah,
mid-spring.
it's full bright.
Umbra's not someone who does something by half measures, so this is going to take a few hours.
Jean Javier is going to stand up, do kind of like a cat-like stretch, and then is going to meander over to the drink cart. Look over to Davina and says, I'm hoping you don't mind if your guest pours themselves a little drink here.
That's literally what it's for.
Ah, perfect, thank you. I'm going to take the most expensive looking bottle, and I'm going to take my empty vial and fill it.
Okay, that's one you should probably let breathe a little bit before you, just so you know.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's not for drinking at the moment. It's simply for, we'll just call this a secret tool that might be helpful later.
You have a vial of brandy.
Perfect. That is added. Now, Mr. Kurt.
Yes?
I just want you to know that, first off, I very much appreciate your hospitality as far as allowing me on to this endeavor, although it has been a bit more treacherous than I assumed at first to defend your livelihood and also for the livelihood of your family and your duty to the political system here in this empire of ours. I do just want to say that allowing me, a vagabond coming in from the door across the threshold here with little to no resume or any cover letter to my name, giving me this form of employment, I do very much appreciate it. It has allowed me to create a redemption within my soul that allows me to remember why I want to work and help those in your position of need.
Oh, that's no problem at all. What do you mean redemption?
I'm not sure if you could tell by my wear here, and he kind of like just takes his he takes like his suit jacket, just kind of like puffs it up a little bit, despite it looking like very nice. Again, obviously he's wearing a 3-piece suit, but all 3 pieces are kind of like mismatched. I'm not necessarily one who comes from a level of, let's say, money. Let's say social status. I come from quite a lower form. I was quite lucky to get the learning that I got. Let's say that to achieve some of the things I've had to do in my life, I've had to do a couple underhanded tactics, unfortunately. Things that I might not be too proud of. But that was simply because I was never given the proper chance to show myself, and thus I needed to take the measures to not only keep the livelihood for myself, but also for my loved ones, my family. So to be allowed a proper employment, especially one of such a noble degree to defend yourself, I do feel that this will allow me to redeem those actions I have taken before I have made my way into your employment.
He doesn't seem to quite have understood everything you've just said, but nonetheless, he just smiles and nods. It's lovely to have you.
He takes his hat, kind of like puts it over his heart. He says, and it's lovely to be here as well, sir. Thank you very much. Now, if you don't mind, I'm feeling quite a little tired. I'm just gonna go and take a little cat nap. Gets on the couch, like pulls the hat over his eyes as he just kind of like crosses his hands, leans back, and begins to like snooze.
Cool. Unless Davina wants to do anything, we will see what people are up to in the rest of the house.
Yeah, I think I'm just having a drink.
Cool. Keeping the prince safe. And slightly soused as well, because eventually he will...
I think I do pour him a drink, and I'm like, low-key just trying to get him to fucking relax.
Yes.
Please
Valid.
just fucking chill, sir.
There's a little ice cube in his, apparently he went for a whiskey on the rocks. It's a little ice cube, and it's a little hard for, Jean Javier to go, have a cat nap with just the clinking of ice as his, like, hand is permanently, like, shaking, and it's just going clink, 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 clink. But eventually it melts. Now, Anissa has been doing the rounds. What are we looking for?
I'm gonna pop detect magic because, yes.
Mhm.
I'm gonna arrange all the supplies so no one can hide behind them.
Mhm.
And then go through the entirety of the house looking for listening devices, or listening runes, that anything magical that I don't think should be here.
You find nothing unexpected. There's some magical stuff coming from the private library. Turns out there's a little safe just hidden inside one of the drawers on the desk, and one of the ways in which it's locked is with a glyph. You feel that there's some magic coming from Hayden's quarters as well. You don't find any magical bugs or, like, dangerous glyphs or anything like that.
Okay.
Just a disgruntled pigeon in one room.
Well, the pigeon has to be removed from that room, obviously.
Roll me an animal handling check then, please.
I can certainly try. I'll give myself guidance because I can.
At first, when you reach for the pigeon, he starts kind of fluffing himself up. He's trying to hide, and trying to protect his big pile of food that he's got. But eventually, seems to warm to you a little, hoots indignantly as you snatch him up.
Just let it outside.
He immediately goes right to the roof of the manor.
Well, not inside, so... Yep, carries on. Basically, he's gonna go around moving things that are obvious that could be hidden behind, maybe
Yeah.
these suits of armor, that kind of thing, based on her own experiences. And then just try and remember where things are. Like room layouts and things like that.
Okay.
That's really it.
Okay. You can work on that for a good few hours, and Umbra and Cain, you're outside shaving off the wall, I believe.
Yeah, so Umber's basically started to go around the perimeter, trying to find, like, any weaknesses or, like, footholds that he could use to, like, climb the walls to, like, the second floor.
Cool. I would ask you to make a perception check then to be able to spot a lot of them.
Can I help with that?
Yeah.
That's a 10.
Second story work was never your primary skill, so it takes you a little bit longer to look around for a lot of these things. You spot a couple of, like, potential, just, one stone has just got a bit more of a hole in it that someone could stick a foot or a hand into.
That's what you get for not going into the thief subclass.
You see, Umbra, if you need to deal with any vegetation, you can just point that out to me.
Indeed. Is Umbra able to, like, fill in those areas with, like, would there be... I guess nothing I have on me would fill it. But would there be, like, basically Umbra's gonna note them down and probably get the servants to fill them with, like, concrete or whatever.
You could either fill them or you could make them even larger, so that there isn't, like, a convenient ledge for someone to stick something into.
Well, based on what Davina said about the property value and all this and that, he's just going to denote them and then get the servants to fix them.
Okay.
Because then the property value doesn't go down.
And if it does, it's not technically your fault.
Apparently.
This horrible guild known as the Homeowners Association will get on their ass.
So glad we don't have those here. We just have the Neighborhood Watch Alliance instead, which is just a bunch of retired racists sitting around clutching their pearls.
Yeah, like I said, the Homeowners Association.
Fair.
I want to do two things, but first I want to ask, out of game, if I could use a specific part of my backstory to, like, deal with the vegetations that Umbra will point to me, to just, like, touch them.
Yeah, I can see that working.
Okay. And I want to do that, and I also want to cast speak with animals. But first look for some small animal like a squirrel or a rat or something.
A pigeon happens to hoot down at you from the roof.
Yeah, and ask them about possible ways to get inside the house.
Sorry, I was just having to look up what the name of the pigeon was again. Okay, so which would you rather do first?
Let's do the animal first.
Okay. You cast Speak with Animals, and what do you say to the pigeon?
Hello. I'm sorry for disturbing you. Could you ask you a few questions, if you don't mind?
Greetings, of course. You may ask the great Butterworth the pigeon whatever you desire.
Well, first of all, it's an honor to be at your presence. You seem a really well-known and smart one, so I would like
you know
like
your
ask...
pigeon worth well.
Indeed, my friend. I would like to ask about possible ways to get inside the house. You see, I have some friends inside that were quite afraid of people getting, and we're trying to prevent that. So any leads, any tips will be wonderful.
Well, I can tell you of the way that I first got into the house. I noticed that the young housekeeper, I believe she was often feeding the crows and the pigeons, and only the crows would ever think to bring her payment for this. But I am a craftier pigeon than most. One day I bought her a bag of money that I had purloined from a nearby building. I popped it on the bench next to her, and she took me in right away as a good luck charm. That is how I gain entrance to the house.
I see. And do you happen to know any other way to get in? And less fancy way, let's say.
There are many windows about the property if one has wings.
Yeah.
And
What about
thumbs to open them.
What about secret passageways? Maybe some holes?
The pigeon rubs his chin with his wing. There is a hole in the attic I was planning on using once that rude lady left, and I could sneak back inside my building. But it's only just big enough for a pigeon or a rat.
Well, we might have to close that route, but if you need to enter the house again and you happen to be stuck outside, just look for me. And thank you for your help.
Aye, aye, kind sir.
And before I'm going to deal with the vegetation, I'm just gonna tell that to Umbra about the hole in the attic. It's not big enough for a person, but I think it's a thing that they could explore.
Well, depending on capabilities and what they are able to do, even just being able to see within the house is enough to be able to get inside of it. Through a hole. With teleportation and such. Or you can check it out, potentially patch it with a bit of wood.
Better safe than sorry.
Well, let's finish up out here, and then we can check out the attic. I didn't see a way up, so we'll have to grab Davina.
Yes, I'll just deal with the overgrow vegetation and I'll meet you.
Okay, so I assume do you have a glove that you normally wear that you'd be taking off?
Yeah.
You remove your glove, you put your hand just on the plant, and I don't know if Umbra would still be around to see this or maybe see it through a window, but the vegetation immediately just begins to shrivel and turn black and brown. It dries up and it smells like rotting vegetation outside.
And I don't do that with every piece of vegetation. That's just the ones that I see potentially being used.
Yeah, just
as a
like
leverage.
very sturdy hedges that one could climb up on, like ivy that's crawling too far up.
Yeah, and you see that after I do that, I'll get a little bit guilty, and then I just put my gloves back on.
Okay. With that, I assume everyone, having finished their jobs, kind of reconvene in the lounge. Jean Javert is having a catnap.
First off, wow.
Your
Are
words.
you only saying that No, I said I was going to just take a little nap.
Okay.
No, the playback is going to prove I'm lying here.
Yeah. You even tried to argue with God.
I think that's one of my character traits, gaslighting.
Hey, you stole that from me.
I'm pretty sure in the party we've got Gaslight, Gatekeep, and Girl Boss.
Period.
Yeah, you're having a little nap of unspecified species. Kurt looks very relaxed. And Davina, what's she been up to? Just talking awkwardly, resting?
I think I'm trying to get Kurt to spill all of his deepest secrets. Like, does he have a crush on anybody back home? What is his relationship with his family like? But at the same time, really trying to be disarming and charming and get this guy to calm the fuck down about getting murdered.
Okay, fair enough.
What are those 3 silly numbers on the back of your credit card there, Kurt?
Which is such a security number, like...
What's like your mother's maiden name?
What's your credit score looking like there, Prince Kurt?
Roll me a persuasion check, please, Davina.
Okay. And because I'm an eloquence bard, I cannot roll lower than a... What is it? I can't roll lower than a 19. So that's a 19.
Okay. I will roll his defense. Yeah, he's a little intimidated by a lot of his family. He kind of worries sometimes that they put him out on this like emissary job to get him like out of the way.
Ooh.
But also he is quite proud of himself because he has actually like achieved several notable things as an ambassador. This isn't his first ambassadorialness. He's previously been a negotiator and an ambassador in other countries, and he is damn proud of that.
What other countries?
He was instrumental in negotiating a peace between the Brattles after a war broke out between the pair of them. And he's also negotiated a lot of trade agreements between Mount Ardra and O'Shane.
Okay. So that's kind of like that conversation is kind of wrapping up as everybody comes back.
Yeah, probably. And he's just like, and I'm damn fine proud of it too.
As you should be. Oh, look, your glass is empty. Let me just... Mage hand.
He has been like very slowly sipping on that single glass. But like once he finished the first, you poured him a second, and that was gone within like 5 minutes. And you're probably just pouring like the third out as the rest would return. You guys have been at it for a good few hours, so it's probably around like 5 p.m. now. The sun is beginning to set.
Cain will look to Anissa for a second and goes close to her and like gesture to be like, can we talk for a minute outside?
Of course. Just gently takes the glass away from Kurt. I think you've had enough. And walks off.
He doesn't fight.
Debatable.
He's just kind of got a bit of a silly grin on his face. What do you do with the beverage, by the way? Do you take it with you into the hall, or do you just like
Yep.
pop it? Okay.
Probably just puts it down. Like, I imagine there's tables in
Yeah.
the lobby. So,
Sorry, Anissa. You see, do you remember early today when we stumbled upon the riot outside the temple? The one
yes.
about the drop bombs law.
What, sorry?
The drop bombs on enemy.
Oh, yes, that.
You see, when we came back to, I tried to talk to Kurtz about it, and he seemed quite, um, let's just say, he was happy with this law, which kind of sets me, I don't know, in the wrong way. I didn't expect that from him.
Really?
Yeah, he seems, well, for a lack of better word, not so much of a brave person, but it's still not not a evil one, if I can use that. I
I
just
shouldn't
want
see why you couldn't.
I just want to ask, how how long do you work for him?
Not a great deal of time, to be honest. I should point out I'm not a knight sworn to his service. I'm in the same position as you, as Umbra. Well, maybe not exactly the same as Umbra. As Davina, and begrudgingly as much as Jean. Despite my personal beliefs about the individual. A few weeks, give or take.
That's so. I just got a little curious about your relationship with him. You seem like honorable people for the short time I know you,
Well,
and
as a knight, I would try to hope to be. Yes.
Indy and his vision about this law would be quite different for yours, I believe.
Ah, yes, preemptive ballistic armaments. Hmm. People are always going to hate each other. Hate is just an innate part of society, whether we accept it or not. And everyone is
Indeed.
capable of it. The lowest lows and the highest highs always have a bit of hate towards them. I wouldn't be surprised if this law gets passed, truthfully. But then I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't get passed either.
It is a shame.
I have seen worse, I have dealt with worse.
And by that, I imagine that you know that war does not benefit anyone.
Oh, it benefits people, Cain. It's not the people you think.
Everyone loses in a war, believe me. You might think that you winning or you getting something out of it, but you losing way more.
Of that I do not deny. But I've had my fair share.
That's
And
alright.
I'm not a good person by any means, but I would hope I know enough to know that or hope, rather, that this law doesn't come to pass. The people are strong here, as they are across the entire empire.
Let's hope so. We do not wish to repeat the mistakes of the past.
There are so many sins yet to be paid for.
Well, I guess that's how. I don't wish to take your time too much.
If you ever need to take my time, you may take it.
And
The time of the night should be taken.
thank you for your honesty.
Well, it's one of my better policies, I will admit, and then just opens the door. Standing next to Kurt without the drink.
He just looks up at you a little sadly, and then goes back to just chilling in the chair.
That's my emotional support drink.
That's not healthy.
Apparently it's not healthy being a prince right now either.
Occupational health.
Alrighty. Well, I do believe we should get a move on towards the cemetery, my wonderful compatriots.
I do believe that it is indeed time, is it not?
We first need to make a detour.
And
I need to pick up the mask.
Right, will you say that the time we were talking would be considered a short rest?
I think we already took a short rest by the end of last stream or last session.
Okay.
Because I've already spent my arcane recovery.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be that long anyway.
Okay.
I assume
I
all
do have-
5 of you are going?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, that's the plan.
Cool.
Umbra is going to lead us. Let me get out the guide.
Before we leave, I will double check Kurt's room, take him upstairs,
Okay.
and then just make sure he's safe
Yeah, he
before leaving.
tuck him in if you like, because he looks quite sleepy. I think I actually forgot to put the guild house on here, but it would be close to 4 and 14.
Okay, then I think we just go down the road.
Okay, I'm not losing it. There are meant to be multiple 4s.
Yeah, I realised
Yeah.
that. Sorry.
Yeah, there
4.
are multiple 4s because airship spires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In which case, Umbra is going to look to the others. I will be right back. I know we said occupational safety of nobody goes alone, however, none of you are part of this organization, unless you wish to potentially be initiated.
Well, in that case then, just stay on your feet. I'll give you that.
Nice.
Alright, so you have the code word. If you don't come back with the code word, we kill you. You understand? That's the... I assume that's the modus operandi?
Yes,
Okay.
that is the entire ordeal. Very well. This shall not take long. With that, Umbra will disappear into the crowd.
Yep.
And make his way towards the basement to go down to the core.
and the listener is waiting for you, as they always are. This time it's not like shiny brand new, because that would stick out, but it doesn't smell like decay. The Watcher's helmet and mask sit on the desk.
As Umbra enters, we'll nod to the hider.
Yes, the hider. What did I say, the listener? Oopsie. Welcome back.
There has been some more information I have learned that I will share while I am picking up this. And he'll walk towards and reach for the helmet and mask.
You're allowed to take them without issue.
Moving them to one hand, Umbra is going to unhide the ring of mind shielding, decloak it and show it off.
Mm-hmm.
This was on the hider's, or the Watcher's body. A ring of mind shielding. Typical for one of our business, however, it seems he is now trapped within it, and seems to be working against those who used him. We spoke a bit. It does appear that he has confirmed that Joker is the one behind a lot of this, as well as, it seems, Mercury, this blood magic person who is having issues with Harper, as well as, or preying on Harper, I guess is the best way to put it, is Ysterian, and it seems that they are connected. It seems HQ may be Ysterian. We may be working for them. This doesn't overly matter, however, I felt the need to ensure you knew what we were getting into.
Your services are appreciated, as always.
He will nod and kind of half turn towards leaving. Davina also wishes for Harper to stay out of things, stay locked away within the Hepburn Manor. I have begun to ensure that we have it set up as securely as possible, taking all precautions to ensure the prince, as well as Harper, do not come to harm. It seems she doesn't want her to be communicating with you directly. Do you have any orders you wish me to pass along to her?
She is a liability. She has been compromised. Her loyalty is in question.
Indeed, however, it seems her sister has changed her mind. She was to be an agent of Mercury, feeding information to them. I'm not sure through how, if they can see through her and hear through her, or if she has a way to feed information to them. However, with this information in mind, she seems willing to be a double agent.
I will leave it to your discretion. Be very mindful about what information you feed to Harper.
I will ensure Davina knows that as well. If the worst comes to worse, would it be the worst thing should Harper prove to be too much of a liability to eliminate the threat?
I trust you will do what needs to be done.
Umbra will nod. Then I will return with a briefing of what we learn in the cemetery.
Very well.
With that, another half bow as Umbra then departs.
Cool.
And then going to re-enter masses of people and is going to attempt to sneak up on the party and just kind of like appear standing beside them. Do the silly little I've been here the whole time.
Yep. Have the rest of the party been doing anything in particular while Umbra was away?
No. Jean
Yeah.
Javier would just wait.
Just examining my cuticles.
Okie dokie.
Maybe having a
God,
proper
adventuring
look
is
around.
doing hell on my nails.
Anissa wants to have a proper look around?
Yeah, because we've been in public now multiple times, and we're not exactly common-looking people.
Well,
is
except
anyone-
Jean Javert.
That's fair. But is anyone like watching us?
That would be a perception check.
Damn. Well, it's only a 12. I don't know why it's on advantage, but
You have a good old rooting around. The street is pretty busy at this time of day. A lot of people like heading home, as well as it being quite dark and a little bit cold. A lot of people have like hoods up and things, so it's very hard to gauge. You don't think you're drawing any unusual attention.
So Umbra just randomly appears beside everyone.
Which Anissa also does not see until he appears.
What the? It's just you. Alright. Oh. What is the passcode? Passcode.
As Umbra, he starts moving a hand up, and you see the shimmer of the psychic energy as a blade appears in his hand. Luminary, but if I was here to replace me, you would already be dead.
I mean, you're not exactly special in that, like, a carriage could have also run us over while you were gone. We are kind of in the street. We should move off to the side.
And to be fair, I think if anyone would replace you with a clone, they would not be as stealth as you are.
We are against other members of my organization. Do you not understand who we are?
I wish
Well,
to
I
remain
understand
ignorant.
we are a socialite, a hermit, an assassin, a knight, and a cat.
The psychic blade just disperses as Umbra just kind of lets go of it. Either way, be on the lookout a bit harder next time. I have the mask. Let us start heading towards our location.
And so we have to get up to here.
Yep. Which means generally means passing through the most populated part of the city.
Especially since we're like, even if we like avoid the market, we're still like close to the castle, which is Temple Quarter and all that. Man, who puts all the public services this close to the castle? Who does this?
Lazy royalty that don't want to
The
move very
rich?
far.
Everybody from the outer perimeter needs to go all the way into the inner city just to buy some cucumbers.
Mm-hmm.
It was never about the poor. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. Traffic is often an issue.
As we're walking, Umbra is going to look towards Jean de Davir, that trick you did back in the forest, can you do that again, but on me?
Which trick exactly are you speaking of? I did do a few while we were out there.
The one that changes appearances. I have the mask, but he kind of gestures to the rest of himself. My clothes aren't the same. My weapons aren't the same. The closest that I can look, the better. The more convincing.
Unfortunately, my spell does not necessarily go out towards others. It's more for allowing me to kind of slip through unnoticed. However, I believe with a little bit of assistance from Miss Hepburn here, the two of us can perform a series of chain casts and spells to allow you to appear as such. Now, it might not have the full proper illusionary effects you might be seeking, but it should be enough to at least cover you for a bit.
You see him consider for a moment. No. Too risky. We're cutting through the market anyways, eh?
Yeah.
I will just grab a cloak on the way.
Cool. That'll be 1 gold.
Yeah. Umbra's just gonna buy like a full body cloak, like that like a hood and covers his entire body.
Yeah, like a dark coloured, I assume.
Yeah, like either like a dark gray, black, or like brown.
Yep. Brown would be the easiest to find.
Yep, that works. Like a traveling cloak.
Yeah. It's quite nice and heavy.
I should say that I think that we've been traveling with each other enough within the last day or so of me joining your group that I should let you know a bit more about my preferred capabilities, I guess one is to say. I'm more of, as I mentioned before, a people person. And that doesn't necessarily only mean my conversational skills. That also extends towards the type of magic that I perform. I'm very what's the word? Skilled and practiced with the more silver-tongued of the arcane parts of the sorcery I perform.
Well, I could expect less from you, to be honest.
So if you need anyone to have any convincing or otherwise, I'm your cat.
If you have any abilities to make it easier for me to potentially lie or persuade, I will not be against such reinforcements. I am not the worst liar, nor am I the worst at intimidating, persuading, anything of that nature. It comes with my territory.
Yeah, also typically not a problem for me, but the offer is appreciated.
I'll probably take up on that offer at some point. As you
Now
may
hold on.
notice, I'm not so
No.
good at socializing.
Now hold on. As far as for helping others, now unfortunately I haven't particularly studied out towards those kinds of arcanic formulas yet. I'm more for providing singular with my own words towards a person. So if you need help getting past a difficult wall or you need somebody to do something for you, I'm your cat. As far as for actually assisting you, that might take a little bit of extra time for me to be able to actually perform such, in this case, miracles. Not downplaying your social skills there, Umbra, but from what I've seen, at least so far throughout the day, you're more of the blunt approach, and you're more of the pewter tongue rather than the silvered.
That is when I am myself. None of you have seen me infiltrate yet.
I mean, even our gilded tongue little lady over here is a bit more of a hammer than she is a knife.
Excuse you?
That is to say, you're more of a direct approach rather than you are for more of skirting around the social situations like myself.
Oh, that's right. You didn't see us. You learn. You learn. I use the tool that is meant for the job. In recent events, there's been a need for, as you say crudely, hammers.
While we're walking and everything, Umbra's going to try and concentrate and communicate with the Watcher again, and more or less kind of like in that internal monologue and everything. If you're going to help and watch me burn this organization that betrayed you down, why don't you give me some pointers as we navigate this situation?
Of course. What do you want?
You're watching?
I am.
Then, I'll let you take the front seat. After people say things, I may ask for some suggestions of what to say, or if there's anything that I do not know, I would appreciate a heads up so that I can maintain the illusion better.
Very well. Just be careful. He is closer to the Joker than I am. Therefore, most likely more powerful. Probably protected.
This is a meeting, not an assassination. Unless they planned to take you out.
They sent you, didn't they?
That wasn't HQ, though. That was the hider. You know that.
Are you sure?
Layers of deception. Never knowing the truth. These are our principles. I play my role. If I'm to be killed, they'll have one hell of a time to do it.
We shall see.
As we get closer, Umbra is going to put the hider's mask and helmet on over his own.
Okay, I was wondering about that, if you would swap masks or...
No, he's just putting it over his own.
Damn.
It's not a great fit, but you can make it work.
Yeah.
It does restrict your vision somewhat, though, because like the eye holes are in a slightly different place, and the way that both of the masks are shaped kind of make it so you can't see fantastically now. But we will arrive at the cemetery, and we'll pick things up after a little break.
Oh, one last thing. On the way through, did Umbra get to watch the Watcher, like, walk and everything? I presume at some point there was a bit of movement and everything, like, at least in the fight and everything.
Yeah, you'd have seen them move around during the fight.
Yeah, so he is going to start, as they more approach, to mimic the walking.
Cool.
And everything, as well as, like, the changing of masks and everything would have been in, like, a back alley and everything.
Okay, give me a
from prying
performance check, please.
Really gotta sell the,
I can give you a little guidance.
I think he could have done with the help action a bit more. Not that anyone can really help him. Well...
Yeah, the restricting of the sight completely... Umbra thinks it's fine. It is obviously not.
Mm-hmm. And I think that is a great note to leave it on until after the break.
Follow my lead.
you see a lone figure, masculine build but very, very slight of frame, who appears to just be watching some of the graves, and turns and peers at you all through the darkness.
Take a couple steps forward. Mourner, I presume.
The Watcher. Why are you walking like that?
Like what? No.
Twisted your
Well,
ankle?
you see, there was some complications. An upstart attempted. I was injured in the fray, but nothing that I will not survive.
And you have not been to see the healer?
This took priority.
What is it that has brought you here, dear brother?
Anything from the Watcher?
Oh, the Watcher would indicate to you that, to remind yourself of the letter that was found on his body. If we have trouble, to seek out the mourner.
Yeah. I come from the letter from Joker. Yours contact. As I said, I ran into trouble.
Of course. It is fortuitous that you happen to come here, dear brother. I have something for you as well. It may help you on your task in future.
Very good.
Follow me. And he begins walking away to unlock the crypt. Ignore what's shown inside. I wanted to make it look a bit more fancy. So instead of a big building on the surface, there's a set of stairs that lead down. And you find your way into what appears to be the place where the richest are buried. Most notable additions is the husband of Aerie Maelin, who is denoted in this sarcophagus here as being the last king of Athington, murdered by the Emperor. But she brings you all the way to the end, where there is a small box. It's about about 1.5 feet long by about 1/2 foot wide. I was sent this straight from headquarters. We all have to start wearing these now. Apparently there's been worries of a mole in our midst.
A mole?
Yes, someone who has been acting against our elements.
Any idea who it might be yet?
It is not in my job to ask. I simply obey the Joker.
As do we all.
She turns around, opens up the box, and you see that it is like a really shriveled, mummified hand. And the hand has got 5 rings on it, 1 on each finger. He plucks the rings off and gives you one of them before approaching, and extends another to Anissa.
We'll make it obvious they look towards the Watcher, for approval, before they take one.
He will nod.
Yeah, then takes one. Do I get the impression that, based on what they said about a mole and that, whether they know it's Umbra?
Insight check, please.
Oh, hell yeah. Not awful.
It doesn't appear that the mourner suspects the Watcher.
Okay.
However, he does give you, gives the rest of the party a bit more of a wary look, probably because it's very rare for unmasked individuals to be operating for the core.
Forgive my companions. They were initiated rather quickly on the run. As I said, the attempts drove me out of my hiding spot.
New starters, of course. A ring for you, sir.
Jean Javier will take it, and I'm just gonna look it over. Can I determine if there's any kind of arcane nature to it?
Yeah, you can do a general vibes check with an arcana check.
Alrighty.
It's definitely a magical ring. With that,
yeah,
I will also tell you it does not appear to be cursed.
Okay, so it is magical. Is there any runic inscription that leads me to figure what type of magic?
Yeah, on the there's a central emerald in the ring, and around it you see symbols for protection, and then charm and fear.
Okay. So is it protection from charm and fear, or is it it has settings?
It is that ring.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Jean Javert will kind of put it on his finger right next to his signet ring.
Lovely. One is offered to Cain.
I take it, and I also put on my finger.
And one will be offered to Davina as well. If Sarah is listening, give me an indication. But I will otherwise assume that she takes one. And then the mourner returns back to the altar. It is good that you now fit the family a little more. Now, tell me what the Joker can do for you.
We need to speak to Mercury, the real one.
Indeed.
It seems that the ploy was to get Harper away from us. She's fallen into the clutches of another once again. Mercury would be able to help.
find him, of course, in a miesling.
Very well. I do not know the full extent of what his plans were for the girl, but I know I have failed, at least in some way. I will make amends.
I am sure he will be more than happy to hear from you.
Is there any orders from headquarters?
Do you still have any of the sanguimitero left?
Would Umbra know if any was, like, if he had stolen anything that was similar to it, or like what had happened, or like he would ask the Watcher about it as well?
It was only mentioned in the letter that you pilfered from his body. Sanguimitero is a substance that enables better sanguimancy. It is the blood of extraplanar creatures.
Would the sample of the golem's blood be considered that?
Sorry, say again?
The sample of blood that I took when I killed Mercury.
That is a very good question. It would count.
Then I'll just like give a few steps and present the vial to Umbra.
He would grab it and bring it back and hold it up.
Lovely. Make sure to return it to Joker. It may ease his mood.
Very well. I will ensure it travels through the right channels to reach him.
She just nods. If there is anything else.
Does the Watcher indicate there's anything that he should press on?
He does not.
Then that is all, dear brother.
I wish you eternal darkness.
And an eternal darkness for you as well. He'll give a slight half bow as he presumes, or before that, I guess he would confirm if he should bow or not, given that this seems to be an agent of the Joker.
The Watcher encourages you to bow.
Yeah. In that case, yeah, he gives like a full-on bow before kind of looking back expectantly.
Yeah, do the same.
Javier will do his flourish, of course, as he bows.
Yeah, just a normal bow, okay.
I assume Davina would curtsy.
Thank you for your time. We will not take any more of it. With that, he'll turn and begin to depart.
You are allowed to leave and return, exit the cemetery as a whole without further incident. Because she rolled even worse than you somehow on her perception check. That could have gone differently. Just saying.
Thank God.
Thank God that hands have 5 fingers.
With that, and departing and such, once we get a good ways away, Umbra will take the mask off.
He can see again.
put it into his pack. Alrighty. We know where we're going, at least. Now we can figure out our next move. We should reconvene at the manse.
Yes. I would say the meeting was quite good. We didn't have to spill any blood to get the information. And to be honest, I didn't thought the blood would be useful, but I'm glad I collect those.
As walking away, Umbra offers it back, because that ain't his.
Well, you can keep. I think you do better use of it.
I don't do blood magic. Given the name, I presume it's something to do with it.
Indeed. I still have to analyze it. And I take back the vial.
I'm glad that that went as well as it did, given that I made a very rookie mistake. We need masks for the three of you.
Well, I have the one that I took from Mercury before.
No. That is one of Mercury's masks. It'll be figured out. Something potentially masquerade-ish. It only has to cover half of your face for when we interact with them.
I mean, would my helmet work?
It seems it did.
Would it be
Helmet,
safe to
mask.
assume that I have, like, not like a full cover one, but I do have it within, like, my disguise kit? I would have, like, some kind of, like, masquerade or Mardi Gras style mask.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably pretty fitting.
Yeah, Jean Javier will, like, kind of, like, take out what looks to be, like, a small suitcase and, like, opens it up, kind of, like, shuffles around, and then pulls out, like, a little, like a little half eye mask, just, like, kind of, like, puts it over, and just, like, well, it ain't as fancy as yours now, but I do believe I have something that allows me a little form of coverage.
That's more than enough.
Does anyone want to purchase a mask from the city before you return back to the manor?
Yes. I think that would be wise.
There is a large array of different types of masks and styles that you could choose from.
I want one that covers the nose and the mouth, but leaves the eyes open.
Which will cost you 5 silver.
Okay.
And just as a heads up, Sarah's minor spill has turned into a major small appliance issue. So she is dealing with that and is not coming back to the game this evening / morning.
Oof.
Yeah, she had like a backed up Nespresso machine or something.
Oof.
How much silver is 1 gold? 10, right?
Yeah. Whatever the lower denominator is, it's 10 to the higher one.
Cool. Anyone else? I think everyone else is set.
Yeah, I got a full helmet, so that works.
Davina may be able to find something in her mother's room.
She's a socialite. She probably has like party masks for balls or those
Masquerade.
eyes wide open or eyes wide closed events that the higher ups do.
I could have worded it a bit better, but that's a very me way of wording it.
Yes, I enjoyed it.
Ah, understood.
Alright. Without further ado, you will begin to return to the manor. Anissa, Cain,
Oh, hello.
you see a dark hooded figure walking sideways up the wall of the manor and trying the windows.
Okay.
Hippity hoppity, get the fuck off Davina's property. Guiding bolt. I don't trust that.
I wouldn't.
You are slightly too far away from guiding bolts, and the angle at which they are currently climbing, you're not able to get there. Because they are here, and the street is over here. So, there is a street over here as well, but the grounds and the walls prevent you from becoming in range.
Okay, in that case, I just start running.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Seeing that Umbra is also running, like full tilts. I think Umbra is probably faster than anybody.
Probably. You've got.
I can be fast in one turn.
Yeah, because I can cunning action as a bonus action to dash. I think, right?
So, I'm sorry, but how much distance between us?
What, between like the party as a whole?
The party and the guy.
So the one that you've seen, just ignore these two for now. The one that you've seen on the walls, the street that you were able to observe him from was about 300 feet away. But by the time you're like able to approach the building more properly, they're out of your line of sight.
Okay.
So we will have, I believe then it would be, I mean, would Jean Javert make a rush? I suppose that is his employer.
Well, in order for me to do something, I would have to actually be in range. I can move 60 feet in a single burst if I use my feline agility feature.
I see.
Would 60 feet, how far, like, what would 60 feet put me in range of?
So in order to get to the door, it would, say you were 300 feet away from the back of the building, kind of go around this. It would be 3 turns of 60-foot movement.
I cannot. Well, I can do 90 feet in my first turn, and then I can do 60 subsequently.
Okay.
If I dash and I don't use any other action.
I believe Umbra's movement at dash would be 90 feet as well if you double dash.
Yeah, 90 feet a turn.
I would just be lagging behind, but I would have like a 30-foot head start of everybody else, I think.
Yeah. Umbra would get there in 2 turns. You'd get there in, well, not. I'll just say like a 2.5 turns, and not long after Umbra, and the rest of you would take 3 turns to get there.
Okay.
as it is an assault on Davina's house, and I feel a bit bad for her missing a lot of the stuff regarding her family, would you all be okay to pick this up again next week?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It makes sense.